What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And last I checked, Matt Eberflus is still the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. And you probably are wondering, how the hell is it that you can literally be the second worst defense in over 100 years of NFL football and still have your job? I got an answer for you. It's because Jerry Jones picked that guy. Yeah, it wasn't Brian Schottenheimer. They had already picked him to be the defense coordinator before they hired Brian Schottenheimer. So another case where the Cowboys have hamstrung themselves. Now, here my wife was saying, what is going on? How is your defense this bad? Because it literally, she was ready to toss up her Italian sub, and she don't throw up. I mean, it was literally that bad. It's putrid. It's terrible. They can't cover anybody. And you say, well, they need to just get rid of and bench this guy and bench that guy. Well, I hate to tell you, the bench is clear. Ain't nobody left. They are literally on fumes. And I don't understand how it is that the Cowboys have been as bad as they have at picking defensive players. We have literally been atrocious. When you draft guys in the first and second round, they should be cornerstone pieces of your franchise. But you start thinking about guys like Tristan Hill that we drafted in the second round, dog didn't hunt. When you think about drafting Van Der Esch in the first round with a neck injury that continued to be a problem, some of it is the Dallas Cowboys philosophy. Okay, so I'm putting blame here all over the place, okay? In actuality, what the Cowboys should do is they should save a roster spot, and that being the punter. The Dallas Cowboys defense is so bad, you are better off. It behooves you to try 4th and 5 on your own 20-yard line, because it don't matter. You can punt it to the other end. In 3 plays, they're going to get a touchdown anyway, but you might get a first down to keep the drive going. So my first solution is don't punt. Don't punt ever again. You have to try and get as many plays as you can on the offense. Now, here's the thing. The Cowboys seemingly do marvelous things with that first-round draft. And I think what it is they're so giddy that they made the right call. And you kind of, it's hard to argue when you look at it and say, you know, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Booker, Tyler Smith, okay? They've done great. That just means they've hit on all. I'm going to say that the book's out on Tyler Guyton. I might look at it and say, I'd rather play Big Nate than Tyler Guyton, because Tyler Guyton seems to be always nicked up in his year and a half of being here, right? But you can still look at it and say, he's not as bad as some of the guys that have been out there drafted in the first round. See the Giants. But we've had so many misses on the defense, from the John Ridgeways, the Quentin Bohannons, the Sam Williams, the Marshawn Nealons, that you wonder, do they just need to clean the slate and just start all over and just say, we need a person who's a scouting department head, just defense. I'm okay with what we do on offense. You know, you've got a really good offense, although it didn't show up yesterday because we couldn't run. The offensive line seemed to be kind of in shambles going against Denver. But you also have to say it wasn't just the Cowboys playing bad. It was also Denver playing really good. Okay, we may have looked at it and said, Denver might be the best team in the AFC right now, because they beat the Eagles. And for you Eagle fans that are coming here talking about Dak choke, Dak suck, Dak choke, you know, he scored the same amount of points that your guy did, right? You understand that, right? That Jalen Hurts only scored 17 points against that team, and y'all lost to them too. So those who live in glass houses should shut the F up. Just saying. Just saying. They're 3-0 against the NFC East. Yeah. Coming 33 points behind the New York Giants to win in the fourth quarter. Or scoring 33. They were only 19 behind. be that as an A. I've been one who said firing Matt Eberflus, it's not going to make your defense any better at this point. The die is cast. You don't have the players in here right now to do anything. Now, the big hottie and big talking point right now is trading for a player. Well, the only way trading for a player actually helps you, works now, is you have to be able to look beyond just this defense this year. Because the reality is one guy is not going to fix this defense. You could trade for Micah Parsons right now, give him 2 number ones, and it's not going to fix this defense for your Super Bowl caliber defense. But what you have to look at is, how can I get me a great player that's going to have staying power for multiple years? So when you look at somebody like, say, Trey Henderson, he's older, he's injured, and his contract ends at the end of this year, which means he's going to be looking for big bucks. So a player like that does not make sense. Max Crosby, hypothetically, I'm just putting that out there. Max Crosby just signed his deal, and he's got this season and 2 more that he's under contract. That's a player that would, or a similar situation, that would actually work to make a trade. Is getting a guy that you know it's not just for this year, it's also going forward. Because make no mistake about it, the Cowboys, they've got to basically start all over. And as far as firing Matt Eberflus, I think that might actually be a right thing to do. More than anything else, as a mercy fire, because it can't be any fun for him to be out there week after week with this defense being as bad as they are. They seem completely lost. They seem out of position. They seem like they don't know the playbook, and you have a multitude of injuries. And there's nothing that Matt Eberflus at this point, I don't believe, there's nothing that he can do to make this thing any better. At some point, you got to cut your losses and be able to move on and say, we made some mistakes. How can we get better in the future? I'm sad to say, Dak is having a really good season again. And much like Tony Romo, we're wasting it. And that goes back to ownership. We got to stop getting guys that are, potential. I need a known quantity on my defense. And we have to get away from these 1-year proven deals for these guys. We're going to go ahead and get some guys that have underperformed. We're going to bring them in, plug them in, and we're going to hope that they're going to be superstars. You got to go out and get the superstars. And that's all I got to say about that. All right, people. On the road too damn long today. Commanders versus Kansas City tonight. We will be there live streaming. Hope you are too. Tractor trailer kind of running off the road there, buddy.